like online, because that's really what it is. It's the photographs and stuff that come through the feed.
Right.
And I was like, what? Like, because she had like
because she did put it out
stuck
there.
under the bed, like the booty's up in the air with her head stuck under the bed.
Did you ever have the opportunity where you got invited and you said no to it?
Hell yeah.
What was the
Hell
consequences
yeah.
when you said no?
Puffy invited me for weeks, asking me to come and teach him how to, wanted me to be his acting coach for a while. So then my assistant was like, he wants to hang out with you next week. And I was like, for what? He's like, I think he's trying to. That's what my assistant said. I was like, oh.
50 Cent recently shared exclusive behind-the-scenes footage allegedly provided by Terrence Howard, focusing on Diddy's so-called private parties. Terrence is now speaking out, and the revelations are startling. For years, he hinted at being sidelined in the industry for refusing to participate in questionable activities occurring behind closed doors. However, with these new accusations surrounding Diddy, it seems the mask is finally coming off. People are starting to realize who was truly pulling the strings behind the scenes. And let's be clear, Diddy is not the only one whose name is coming up in this scandal. Terrence also made subtle, sharp comments regarding Diddy's rumored relationship with Young Miami. The rumor mill suggests she was involved in these wild gatherings as well. But what's truly grabbing attention is what Terrence claims he captured on video, allegedly involving her, and it's far more shocking than anyone anticipated. This isn't typical industry gossip. It has the potential to seriously stir things up. What's even more surprising is that Terrence released this information on his own, without anyone prompting him. No one knew he had any dirt on Diddy, and then, out of the blue, he revealed everything during a podcast appearance. Based on his account, his experience closely mirrors what others have quietly said about Diddy for years. Now, we're uncovering another layer of this complex situation, one filled with disturbing stories and questionable circumstances.
Hey, did you ever have the opportunity where you got invited and you said no to it?
Hell yeah.
What was the
Hell
consequences
yeah.
when you said no?
Puffy invited me for weeks, asking me to come and teach him how to, wanted me to be his acting coach for a while. Go there and he's sitting around just looking. I'm like, okay, what's the material you want to work on? He's just looking at me. Then next thing you know, okay, hey, will you help me? I want to hear your music. So I come over there and I play the music. And he's sitting there just looking at me, like waiting. Okay. So then my assistant was like, he wants to hang out with you next week. And I was like, for what? He's like, I think he's trying to. That's what my assistant said. And I was like, oh, okay. Now I get it. So now no more communication. Now you know to be hands off with somebody. A number of producers come in and make the approach, and you threaten to punch them in the mouth, or threaten to knock their head off for talking to you or looking at you like you're a woman. When you approach a real man about his masculinity, you're going to get a real reaction back.
Terrence Howard shared his own direct experience. He explained that Diddy reached out for help with acting, but something about the request didn't sit right with him. While Diddy has done some acting, it wasn't on a level that would require assistance from someone as experienced as Terrence. Still, Terrence agreed to meet, assuming it was a professional matter. However, once he arrived, the atmosphere reportedly shifted quickly. According to Terrence, Diddy's behavior suggested a different agenda entirely. Terrence wasn't interested in anything beyond business, so he drew a clear line and walked away immediately, leaving no room for misunderstanding. But he didn't stop there. He also claimed that he wasn't the only man Diddy allegedly approached in such a manner. According to Terrence, every man who attended one of Diddy's notorious parties experienced something questionable, and these events were far from ordinary social gatherings. He even went as far as saying many of these men left feeling as if they'd lost a part of themselves. This paints a troubling picture of what's taking place behind closed doors at these gatherings. What's even more concerning is that this isn't the first time Terrence has spoken out about similar behavior in Hollywood. For years, he has insisted that he wasn't pushed out because of declining relevance, but because he refused to conform to the darker expectations of the industry. Years ago, Terrence opened up about his decision to step back from acting, explaining it wasn't due to fatigue or lack of opportunities. He claimed Hollywood tried to force him to compromise his values, and when he stood firm, that's when the backlash began. Suddenly, he was labeled as difficult, just like many women in the industry who dared to speak out about mistreatment. The pattern is the same, only the target changes. So when Terrence announced his retirement in December 2022, it took many by surprise. He He was still securing major roles, had a loyal fan base, and seemed to have no public conflicts. Everything appeared stable on the surface. No controversies or disputes. But according to Terrence, behind the scenes, he was being placed in compromising situations, tests essentially, to see how far he would go to preserve his career. When he refused to comply, he claims the system began quietly pushing him out.
When you give up your manhood, I've never seen somebody recover from it. That was all the people that went to the puffy parties. That was all the people that did all those things thinking that there was never going to be a consequence for what they were doing. Get punked out and pimped out by some greater desire. You should have a greater desire than being a man.
Terrence Howard believes that once someone compromises their sense of manhood, it's incredibly difficult, if not impossible, to reclaim it. He suggests that this is exactly what happened to many individuals who attended the infamous parties, thrown by Diddy. According to Terrence, these people made compromises, thinking there would be no consequences. However, they were manipulated and taken advantage of by a larger, overpowering desire that clouded their true identity. He emphasizes that no ambition should ever surpass one's sense of self and masculinity. Terrence revealed that Hollywood attempted to break him in the same way, targeting his masculinity. But when he resisted and stood his ground, the industry responded harshly. He was quietly pushed aside, without drama or public fallout, just a subtle exit. Although he returned to acting, he has remained cautious. Now, back in the public eye, Terrence is speaking up and shedding light on what he describes as the darker, more manipulative side of the entertainment world. One key issue he continues to address is the repeated pressure he faced to wear a dress on screen. According to Terrence, these requests had no real relevance to the plot or artistic vision. Instead, he perceived it as an intentional effort to embarrass him and gradually erode his identity. Terrence firmly refused, stating it wasn't something he was willing to do, and he's not alone. This issue has been raised by many black male actors in the past. They've spoken out about producers trying to insert scenes requiring them to wear dresses, even when it didn't fit the storyline. Comedian Cat Williams also addressed this in an interview on Club Shay Shay, highlighting that this pattern has been ongoing in Hollywood. While the push to dress or act more femininely often comes with large paychecks, Cat rejected them, prioritizing self-respect over financial gain. He believes this pressure is far more common than most people realize. Terrence is just the latest to speak out. When Cat Williams' interview gained traction online, Terrence joined the conversation and his comments hit home for many. For years, rumors circulated that Terrence had been removed from roles due to a bad attitude or because he was difficult to work with. However, when Cat started exposing the inner workings of Hollywood, Terrence stepped forward to clarify. He made it clear he wasn't let go because he was hard to work with. Instead, it was because he refused to bend. He wasn't willing to let the industry diminish him or strip away his dignity. He shared a powerful lesson from his father. Never take the vertebrae out of your back or the base out of your throat. I didn't raise sheep, I raised men. Stay a man. Terrence also pointed out that in today's world, being a man often comes with a cost, because modern society is not designed to support men who stand firm. He believes everything is becoming more neutral and blended. The more successful a man becomes, the softer he is expected to appear. In a follow-up interview, Terrence reiterated his stance. He argued that there is a hidden effort to weaken strong, black men, and that true masculinity is often viewed as a threat. The system is reshaping the image of men, encouraging them to be more feminine so they forget who they are and where their power lies, he stated. Terrence also addressed the issue of race, pointing out that while white men are often celebrated for their strength, black men displaying the same strength are seen as dangerous. He refused to shrink himself to fit others' expectations. In his words, "I'm not cutting off pieces of who I am to make your story work. Maybe it's your story that needs to evolve." He believes men should be allowed to be strong, while still appreciating the beauty of women. There is no conflict in that. With everything he's shared recently, especially regarding the allegations about Diddy, fans are starting to piece everything together. And honestly, it's all starting to sound much more plausible, but the story doesn't end there. Insiders claim that Terrence is still holding back even more damaging information, with Young Miami, Diddy's rumored partner, at the center of it all. After Terrence Howard's interview went viral, 50 Cent initially kept silent, posting, "No comment. I'm staying positive. God help us all. However, he recently hinted at a disturbing freak-off video, allegedly filmed by Terrence at one of Diddy's parties. The video supposedly shows Young Miami in an unsettling situation. This isn't the first time her name has come up. There are rumors suggesting that she wasn't just present at these events, but may have been actively involved. Some point to a moment when Diddy's other rumored partner, Gina Hoyne, posted a photo with him. Young Miami allegedly reacted aggressively, threatening Gina and claiming, "You're a placeholder. Diddy gave you crumbs. You're an eater." She is said to have added, "If I wanted you to eat me, Diddy would have had you on your knees. You would have been a munch." This comment quickly went viral. The situation escalated when another of Diddy's rumored partners became pregnant. Court documents from an anonymous Jane Doe claim that she was pressured into taking unknown substances at Diddy's house, which she later learned might have been ketamine. The substances left her unconscious and bruised. She claims this was not an isolated incident, but a pattern that continued for months, with no consent given. When she became pregnant, the pressure increased. Jane Doe alleges that Young Miami harassed her, pushing for a miscarriage. She also named Carrie Brownlee, allegedly Young Miami's real name, as a key figure in this harassment. Legal documents state that Jane Doe lost the baby after this alleged pressure campaign and severed all ties with Diddy's circle for several months. Given Young Miami's past reactions, particularly in 2022 when Diddy had a child with another woman, many fans find these new claims credible. The controversy deepened with Lil Rod's lawsuit, which brought even more troubling accusations to light. The lawsuit intensified the focus on Diddy and his inner circle. In a recent legal filing, new and disturbing allegations have emerged, not just about Diddy, but also about Young Miami. According to the lawsuit, she wasn't just attending those notorious parties. She was allegedly deeply involved, along with some of her family members. Rod claims Young Miami witnessed disturbing events and chose to remain silent. One incident stands out. According to Mr. Jones, Lil Rod, Diddy, allegedly intoxicated, offered him cocaine. After refusing, Jones went to the restroom where Young Miami's cousin reportedly barged in, touched him inappropriately, and attempted an unwanted sexual act. He pushed her away, but she allegedly continued her pursuit in front of Diddy and others. The lawsuit claims this behavior was part of a recurring pattern. On another occasion, during Thanksgiving 2022 in Miami, Diddy allegedly asked Jones and another man to bring him a $100 bill to use for cocaine. Jones avoided the situation by claiming he had no money. Later, Diddy reportedly made the same request to Young Miami. Terrence Howard's statements add more weight to these claims. He alleges that Young Miami assisted Diddy in transporting substances to various locations. During music festival rehearsals, Jones reportedly saw Diddy using cocaine in his dressing room. When more was needed, Christina Kororm allegedly arranged for it to be flown in from Miami. The lawsuit also claims that Young Miami, along with Jade and Daphne Joy, received monthly payments to serve as private entertainers for Diddy, funded directly by Robin Greenhill. These actions are believed to be part of a larger criminal operation. Now, 50 Cent reportedly has compromising footage of Young Miami. With his long-standing feud with Diddy, he might not remain silent for long. What are your thoughts on these allegations? Share your comments, like, and subscribe for more updates. This story is only beginning to unfold.